Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Burn It Down podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Allen Jr. I'm looking a little different today. I got absolutely chopped off today, trying to be all Top Gun for you guys. So, sporting a new look today. With me is my co host who has not gotten a haircut recently, Mr. Ross the Boss Tatum. Ross, how are you on this Thursday evening?
Doing good, Ricky. Love the haircut. Looks good. I need a haircut as well. It looks like. I also need a hair transplant. So, whichever comes first. And I think, looking forward to this weekend, but we'll see. What about you?
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to this weekend. Anything's honestly got to be better than last weekend, so hopefully we can put Iowa to bed. Hopefully we don't see more of the same. I haven't dove in as much to see what the tire combination is. Maybe you can update me on that if you know.
I believe it's the same right side tire that we ran at Richmond last year.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be a big difference. I think we've ran it at Phoenix, we ran it at Martinsville, and a couple other tracks. So shouldn't be too much of a change for tire stuff. So obviously Richmond's a heavy wear track, so there's probably going to be a lot of splitting of stages, and I guess the big call in the third stage will be: do they split it in twos or do they split it in threes? So there's our mystery for the weekend.
Yeah, and so I'm curious if we're gonna run into kind of the new rule that NASCAR put out with the stage being at its conclusion within that 10 laps. I'm curious if we're going to get that this weekend. It didn't affect last weekend whatsoever, so I'll be interested to see what that looks like. But yeah, I mean, we got some interesting storylines. I think we can probably expect to see very similar front runners as we did last week. Obviously, we know it's going to be hard to pass with this car and with this package, per usual. But hopefully, with the tire, we'll get a little bit more wear than what we did at Iowa. Because, man, if it's anything close to like it was at Iowa, it's going to be another boring race.
Yeah, Richmond is kind of almost the opposite of Iowa now, where you basically have to take four tires every pit stop. So it's really going to be up to the crews to not make any mistakes and just execute all day. Obviously, that lends itself to the teams with the best pit crews. So you look at the 11, you look at all the good teams, the 11, 20, 54, all the Gibbs cars, and obviously Richmond is a pretty big track of when you're good there, you're always good there. And
Huh?
so I think we're going to be pretty much stuck with the same front runners as we usually get. So it'll be, I don't know. I'm expecting a lot of green flag runs. I'm not expecting many cautions. Actually, I would wager to bet that we see no natural cautions all race and we have the two stage cautions and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's 50-50 in my opinion. I think we could go that route, but if maybe on some of these restarts, don't forget we do have John Hunter Nemechek in the field, and some. I'll give Cody Shane Ware a little credit. Haven't heard his name recently, which is good. We don't want to hear Cody Ware's name because that means he's not. He's not a storyline. So, good job, Cody Ware, for not being a storyline recently. So, now that I said that, I'm sure he'll bring out a caution at the most inopportune time this weekend. But hey, we'll give him some props while we can. John Hunter Nemechek is still in the field, and some other back markers as well. So yeah,
Ricky
I don't know.
Stenhouse.
Yeah, and it's going to be Saturday night, so things get a little crazy under the lights sometime. Everyone kind of gets amped up. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. One person we got to talk about though, Ross. Austin Dillon is going for 3 in a row this weekend at Richmond. Um, I'm looking on the books right now on DraftKings. He is plus 1,200. So I think that's pretty good value. Obviously, it's not his usual super long shot odds. I think it's funny that the books jack him up for this weekend as well because they know his history there. And just like you said earlier, Richmond is one of those places, if you run well and you figure it out, you could almost see Austin was trying to kind of replicate the line he runs at Richmond at Iowa last weekend. Not quite obviously the same track and the same result, but he still did have some good speed and ran in the top 10 for the majority of the race last weekend. So, how do you feel about Austin Dillon's chances to really go three in a row?
Man, I'm not super high on it just because I mean, we're talking about Austin Dillon. Um, and at some point, you would think some of these guys would start replicating that same line after as much success as he's had the last few years. Um, so I don't want to say he's not going to win and guarantee it, but I would be very surprised. Hey, I said the same thing last year. I'd be very surprised if he won and then he went out and won. So I could be 100% wrong. I just don't see it. And obviously, RCR is even further off this year than they were last year, and they were even further off last year than they were before the year before that. So I don't know. I would be very surprised if he won.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree with you just because I normally say it's hard to just flip a switch and go from running 20th to competing for the win. However, Joey Logano just did that in North Wilkesboro. There was no indication that he was going to run up front. We just know that that's Joey Logano's playground. So because of that and with this car and what we've already seen, I'm Austin Dillon's really high on my list this weekend, Ross. Normally, like I said, I wouldn't, you know, have him that high just because of how he's been running recently. But last week showed me that they do have a little bit of a handle on their short track package. And I know momentum is a real thing. And when you go into a weekend and you're looking forward to racing at a certain place, I think qualifying is going to be important. If he can get a good qualifying position up in the top 5 or top 10, I think it could be really dangerous. Obviously, if he has a poor result, it's going to make the job a lot tougher. But he just seems to have that long run pace figured out in whatever line he runs there. So, yeah, I'm really going to be keeping my eye on Austin Dillon this weekend.
Yeah, you just mentioned the guy I'm going to be keeping my eye on, and that is Joey Logano. I think he is probably my number one bet to win this weekend. Um, and it's because Ron Blaney kind of struggles at Richmond. Now, last year he finally put it together at Richmond and had a good run. But when I think of Richmond, I think of two drivers, obviously Denny Hamlin. The other one is Joey Logano. And I think Joe Logano is going to show out again this week, and I think we might, unfortunately, see another dominant performance by him. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I can see it as well. I think back to that clip when Austin Dillon won 2 years ago. Austin would have won the race if it had stayed green. Caution came out. Obviously, Logano got him on that restart and was going to get him until Austin Dillon committed double homicide in the last, corners of 3 and 4. So, yeah, I think honestly, you could probably this might be a fun bet too. You could probably do a top 3 bet for the 3 car, the 22 and the 11. And try to do a little parlay of all 3 of them in the top 3. I think that would be a pretty good long shot odds there. So, but I feel like every time we come to Richmond, those 3 numbers come up. I'd throw the 54 of Ty Gibbs in there now as well. I mean, he's got all the momentum coming off that one last week. It's funny that both of his wins have pretty much come on short tracks too. So, yeah, I think Ty Gibbs could be a factor, but I agree with you. I think Joey Logano is going to be hard to beat as well.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know if I feel as good about Ty Gibbs. I don't know if he's ran super well there, but again, it's JGR. They figure stuff out, and Ty seems to be locked in. I'm sitting here looking at the top 5 from last year. The top 5 last year was Austin Dillon first, Alex Bowman second, which I think we mentioned this on Monday. I do not remember that whatsoever. And then you had the 3 Penske cars round out the top 5 with the 12, the 22, and the 2. So, interestingly enough, Denny finished 10th. Not sure what happened. This is one of those races from last year I don't remember a damn thing about.
Yeah.
And, I just remember Austin Dillon kind of dominating at the end and winning. But yeah, I think it'll be a good race. But I think that we're looking at a Penske and JGR kind of night. But Austin Dillon could show up. We'll see.
I think he will. I really do. Ross, I'm going to kind of try to do this on the fly because I unfortunately have not had a ton of time this week. I've not done my homework. Apologize to all you fans out there, but we're going to try to do some live trivia. So I'm going to kind of be on the spot. I'm going to put you on the spot, Ross. Um, Richmond is one of NASCAR's, I would call it, founding tracks. They've been around for a really long time. They recently did lose a date. They used to have two dates and they went to one. Do you like that? Because I think part of the struggle with two dates is, the conversation of, not packing out the stands because they've got 2 weekends a year versus just having the 1 weekend a year and trying to pack out the stands.
As a race fan, I don't like it, but like if you look at it from a different perspective, I guess as a track owner or someone in NASCAR, Richmond just was not having good attendance. I mean, I went to a race in 2017 and there were maybe 15,000 people there. Probably it was bad. It was maybe 20,000 people. We got a ticket on Groupon for $10 a piece 2 weeks before the race, and so yeah, they had struggled with attendance for a long time. I think NASCAR rode it out as long as they could, and it just never recovered. And I think this one race really helped them out a lot. I think it helped their attendance a lot last year. The crowd looked really good. But I think I think it goes back to a bigger issue with NASCAR scheduling myself. And that's just that we have so many races in the same area of the country back to back to back to back. You look at next year's schedule. Well, for a long time, you had Martinsville, Bristol back to back, which they still are, which is two tracks that we know very well are close to each other. It's 2.5 hours. We're very close to each other. And then for a while they had Richmond back to back to back as well. And so I just think NASCAR kind of hurts themselves by putting so many races in one spot of the country in a short amount of time, and there's just not enough fans to spread that money around. There's not enough money for fans to spread around. And so yeah, I think they hurt themselves with that.
All right, Ross, let's get into a little bit of trivia. So I teased it just a second ago. I know Richmond's has been one of the longest tenured tracks. Can you guess the year that the first race was run at Richmond and who the inaugural winner was?
Oh man. Um
Starting out tough on you.
yeah, that would be tough. Uh So this would have been old Richmond. It would have been the Richmond Fairgrounds back in the day when it was a little oval. I've heard that story from my dad a bazillion times. Let's see. It was probably in the 70s?
Way earlier, actually. It was back in the
God.
50s.
In the 50s. Oh,
Yep.
God. Okay, so 50s? I don't know. I'm just going to throw a name out.
Sure.
Fireball Roberts.
That's incorrect. So the inaugural race was in 1953, and it was won by Lee Petty.
Okay. All right.
So,
Lee Petty. Yeah,
the more you
Petty's,
know.
Petty's just win everything, don't they?
Yeah.
Except for Kyle. He sucks.
That's right. Screw you, Kyle. Speaking of Petty, Richard Petty is the winningest driver at Richmond Raceway. How many wins does he have?
It's probably going to be a lot higher number than I think, just because they probably ran there 2 or 3 times a year for a long time. I'm going to say 17.
Close, but a little high, Ross. Richard Petty slots in at the number one spot with 13 wins at Richmond. So still double digits. Can you guess? Let's just do the top 4. Can you guess the top 4 all-time winners at Richmond?
Top 4. Okay, I'm thinking of big-time Richmond winners.
I'll give you a little bit of a hint. One of them I would consider old school or pioneer, and then 2 of them are more of this generation.
Okay, I'm going to go with Darrell Waltrip.
No, actually.
No, okay.
Yep.
Pioneer. What does pioneer mean? Like pre-70s or?
I would say like Richard Petty era.
Okay. Oh God, who else won in Richard Petty's era besides him and David Pearson and?
Keep going. Keep going.
David Pearson, Kelly Yarborough.
Keep going. 2 famous brothers.
Bobby. Shit. Bobby
You
Allison.
had it. What?
Bobby Allison.
Correct. Bobby Allison.
Okay.
Bobby Allison is second, with 7 wins at Richmond.
Okay, and two
I
recent.
would just say like this generation.
Okay,
Our generation, we grew up watching two of these guys. One is active.
okay, so I guess that'd be Denny.
Yep. Denny is
Denny
fourth with 5 wins.
and it's got to be Harvick, I guess.
Kyle Busch with 6 wins.
Kyle Busch. I forgot. He went for a while where he just dominated Richmond. I mean, he'd lead every lap. He even had a couple get away when he was with Hendrick. He would lead a bunch of laps with Hendrick. Yeah.
So Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin are your 4 most winningest drivers at Richmond.
How many wins does Jeff Gordon have there?
Let's see if we can find out. I've got this pulled up.
I asked that because I don't remember him being like super successful, but I know he won a couple there.
Yeah, I know Martinsville was more of his playground, and he had success at Bristol as well, but I don't remember him being as successful. He won in 96, so that's 1. He won in 2000, so that's 2. And that might be it.
Dang, that's pretty low for a Jeff Gordon track.
Yeah, 2 wins. About it. Yeah, that's now I do remember Jeff Gordon running well. I'm trying to remember what race it was. I want to say it was around 2013, maybe 2014. I just remember it was like Brad Keselowski and the 2, Logano, Jimmy, and Jeff, and they were like all under a blanket with like the last like 20 or 30 to go, and it was great racing.
Would that have been the Brad Keselowski fight night when Keselowski got pissed off that Jeff Gordon held up somebody and Joey Logano won and he was mad about it?
Maybe. I don't know. I need to go back and like I feel like when I was younger I just didn't analyze the races as much as I do now, and I don't remember all of them, so I need to go back and freshen up a little bit.
I just remember Brad Keselowski's 2013 and 2014 were about the craziest years of NASCAR you can imagine. He was getting into everything and everyone.
Yeah.
And I kind of miss those days. Bad Brad. Yeah.
Yep. Now he's like Mr. Mature, dad, husband, team owner. Like, just don't hear much from him anymore.
No, yeah. It's kind of the same thing that happened to Harvick. Like, he just got chilled out all of a sudden. And then he mellowed out, and now he's the most boring broadcaster you'll ever see in your life.
Right. How many years realistically do we think Brad has left in the car? It can't be that many, right?
I would say he'll go for another 2 to 3. It's not like he's bad. I don't really think he's even fallen off. I just don't think they have winning cars. I mean, he runs right there with Buescher, and he runs right there with Priest. I think he runs better than Priest. I mean, he's always right there with Buescher. He just tends to have really bad luck, and he has been horrific on the road courses, and that's kind of where Buescher just outpoints him every single year.
Yeah. I'm looking at the list of just kind of recent winners, Ross, just, for storylines. Obviously, Kyle Busch. Alex Bowman actually won there in 2021, so that's interesting, kind of following up that P2 conversation. So
he stole that win from Denny Hamlin on a late restart.
I do remember that. Yep. Obviously, Denny Hamlin is going to be in the picture. Kyle Larson's got a win there in 2023. He's also got a win there in 2017, so 2 wins for Kyle Larson at Richmond. And then Martin Truex Jr. won quite a few races there toward the end of his career as well. So,
well, it is nice to be in a Gibbs car at Richmond. It's like their playground. Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised Denny doesn't have more than 6. If I think back to Denny, I think he would probably have at least 10 there. So I'm surprised he only has 6.
Well, he's lost several of them, where he's been leading or had issues, right? So, yeah. Let's. What other drivers do you think? Oh, you know what? Let's do this. The trucks are back this weekend as well, Ross. I almost forgot it was Thursday, but tomorrow, the trucks are in action Friday night. Any guys you want to keep an eye on for trucks, or?
Yeah, Lane Riggs. There you go. That's my bet. That's my bet for the weekend. Obviously,
what about
Corey Haim is?
I was going to say,
I think Chandler's going to be really good. Chandler's a good short track racer, and obviously Richmond's a lot like North Wilkesboro in makeup, not really in uh, tire wear and stuff. I think the FRM trucks are going to be really good, of course. And Corey Haim is back in the 5 truck, I think, this weekend. So
Okay.
maybe he can put it together, but his last showing at North Wilkesboro wasn't very good. And we've seen Tricon kind of struggle at these short tracks recently because they've run nothing but short tracks within the last couple months. So I don't know. I'll be interested to watch that race. I think it'll be a good race, but I think we're about to see some FRM domination once again.
We've actually got a lot of interesting names in the truck field. Elliott Sadler is going to be running for Colleague this weekend, Virginia native. So it's Colleague though, so we can't get too excited, right?
Well, also that's an interesting track choice for Mr. Elliott Sadler. Now I know it's a home track for him, but Elliott Sadler was about one of the worst Richmond drivers in the world his whole career. He could never figure it out. He was never good there. It was probably his worst track, and now he's taken a one off with Colleague, who has terrible trucks. So I wouldn't be surprised if Elliott Sadler finishes 30th or below.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting. Like I like what they're doing from like a promotion perspective, kind of making this all-star truck and bringing in all these retired guys. But like, man, that's going to be so tough to just be out of the seat for that long and then just up and do a one-off race. And yeah, I don't know. I'm curious how much like the trucks may have changed like since he's driven them. I mean, it's obviously he was in the Cup car, and then he at the end of his career he was with JRM and the Xfinity car for a long time. So I'm just curious of like how much it changes or what the feeling is like, coming back now versus what it used to be.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're even able to get some of these guys to show up for this truck. I mean, it's so far off. It's so bad right now. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I guess they want to get in the truck one more time or in the vehicle one more time and race. But man, these Colleague trucks are far off. I did see where the 16 truck will be the first Colleague built truck, in-house truck, will be ran this weekend by Justin Haley. So we'll see. That'll be a good gauge of if they made any gains. We'll see if Haley does good. That might be someone you can look at for DFS, because if he's got a new truck and they kind of figured something out, whether they have or not, I don't know, but maybe they have. And so he might be someone you want to keep an eye on. The other 4, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole because they were getting lapped within 30 to 40 laps at Wilkesboro and IRP. So I would avoid those Colleague trucks if I could.
You've got SVG actually running in the 7 for Spire as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Looking at
I think SVG will
right
do
now.
pretty good. I think he'll do pretty good this weekend. I would be surprised if he didn't finish top 10.
Yeah. I've said it before, but I think for SVG, the kind of closest thing to a road course are short tracks just because of the braking, and he's so good under braking. So, I would take it even further. I think he might even run in the top 5 this weekend. So I think that would be a good option. Like you've already said, I think it'll be between the FRM guys and then probably Honeycutt, Corey Haim, and then you'll throw SVG kind of in the back half of the top 5. I think is what you can probably expect.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sitting here looking at Elliott Sadler stats by track. This dude was not a very good Cup driver. Holy shit. He was bad. 24 starts at Richmond, 1 top 10, and he led 1 lap in 24 starts. Some of these stats are bad. 19 starts at Phoenix, 1 top 10.
Not a short
track
guy,
crazy.
Huh?
No, not a short track guy. Not much of anything kind of guy.
How many Cup wins did he have?
He had 3 Cup wins. I was actually thinking about this the other night. He had a win with Wood Brothers at Bristol in 2001, and then he had 2 wins in one season. His first year with Yates Motorsports, I believe he won at Texas and he won at Auto Club.
Interesting. Okay.
Before Auto Club was a good track. This was back when they just rode the bottom around Auto Club, but yeah, he got a win there too. So yeah, pretty interesting. Sorry, I got us derailed there.
No, you're good. Well, that'll be fun. We'll keep an eye on that. I mean, I love some truck racing action on Friday night, so that'll be at 7:30 tomorrow night. So get home from work, prop your feet up, order yourself a pizza, and enjoy some nice truck series action on Friday night. So that'll be a
For
nice
sure. And
little. Yeah, go ahead.
let me mention something real quick.
Yeah.
Do not, under any circumstances, get the chicken bacon ranch stuffed crust pizza from Walmart. We
Ooh.
had that tonight. It was the worst shit I've ever had in my life. It tasted like cardboard. So I got Ricky choking over here. He's puking. He's puking on the mic. Do not buy that pizza.
You heard it here first on the Burn It Down podcast. Stay away from Walmart pizza.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's my PSA for the night.
Yeah, I was going to say, if anyone's heard about the Damon Darling news too, apparently a lot of people are going to be trying to stay away from Walmart anyway. So that's another topic. Things like that, but
yeah.
Let's see. Any other Cup storylines we need to cover at all, Ross? I mean, you want to talk about point battle or anything like that? I mean, I feel like it's just going to be kind of more of the same, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just it's been a slow news week. Not a whole lot's dropped from the grapevines this week. Not a lot of news, and then like you said, it's Richmond. I feel like we kind of know who's going to be good and who's not going to be good. I'm sitting here looking at top 10s, top 10 bets, and even a guy like Josh Berry who got top 10 last year, he's plus 170. So there's not a lot of good value. It's not really a track where you see guys just all of a sudden rip out a top 10 out of nowhere. The good guys are pretty much good. The bad guys are kind of bad. So I don't know. I don't think there's a ton of value out there this week.
Looking at the points battle, Austin Cindric is still hanging on to that last spot. Ryan Preece is 29 points out. If Ryan Preece is going to make a move, like, now's the time. I was a little surprised that he didn't make up more ground at Iowa. You look at Richmond and you look at New Hampshire as big opportunities for him because, obviously you want to have as big of a point cushion as possible going into Daytona because just absolutely anything could happen there. So it's kind of now or never for Ryan Preece. And I'm curious of your thoughts, Ross, on if you think that Trackhouse has improved at all with Ross Chastain, because he is just sneakily out of the chase picture. He's 47 points out. Is it too late for Ross Chastain?
Yeah, I kind of think it is. I think they got kind of lucky last week at Iowa just not being a tire wear track, and they got to kind of use strategy, which Trackhouse is usually pretty good at. I don't know. I don't feel like they've gotten any better. Do you?
I don't know. I mean, seeing Connor Zilic qualify inside the top 10 last week and finish 11th, I mean, your car's got to be better. I mean, just the way Connor's season's gone. So, I don't know.
That's true.
They may have made a little bit of a gain. And don't forget, I mean, granted it was Nashville. It's not really a short track. But they all looked really strong in Nashville too until the brakes all went out on most of their cars except for SVG. So I don't know. They might be experimenting a little bit. I think if Cindric or Preece has a bad day and Chastain can kind of capitalize again, he puts himself into the conversation. So I'm not quite counting him out yet. But all those guys, it's pretty much do or die at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with those points that you just made about Trackhouse. So yeah, they probably have improved a little bit. I think Cindric's going to be pretty good the next couple weeks. I think he's going to be really strong at Richmond, and I actually think he's going to be pretty daggone good at Loudon.
Yeah.
Last year at Loudon, the Penske cars were unreal fast. So we're kind of going to two Penske playgrounds. He's done just enough to stay 16.
And all three of them are great super speedway drivers too.
Yeah.
Though I mean I know it's a crapshoot, but they all know how to position themselves well. So
yeah, I just think it's a little too late for a big comeback by Chastain. But anything could happen. There could be a wreck. There could be something where he gets back in the mix somehow. I'm just looking at the stats. Alex Bowman's only 160 out now, so I'm just kidding. He's 190 back, I think. So that pick went down to shit.
Yeah, I think you lost that one, buddy.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
Listen, I know you've been winning a lot this week, but we're going to knock you back down to earth a little bit. So
sometimes you get lucky, Ricky. Sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sometimes your best tracks just happen to fall on the schedule. in 1 week, and you have a good week.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened.
Well, to kind of close things out, just kind of briefly looking over the odds again, the three drivers that I talked about, Denny Hamlin, you can grab him at plus 475 for the win right now. Joey Logano at plus 700. I think that's really good value for Logano heading into Richmond. And then, as I mentioned, Austin Dillon at plus 1200. So those are kind of my guys to watch. Even Ty Gibbs, you can grab him at plus 900 or if you think he's going to get a top five plus 120. So, not huge value for a top five, but yeah, I think, gosh, even Josh Berry, um, if you want to be a little risky, you can grab Josh Berry for a top five at plus 550. And I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. So he always seems to run well there.
I'm gonna say another one who's staring right at me at plus 1400, and that is Bubba Wallace. He was very good there. I think it was last year. He led a bunch of laps, like a
Yeah.
bunch of laps. And
And he was
gotten up
super
front
fast
there.
last week too.
Yeah, super fast last week. Gosh, I don't want to see him win, but I mean, I could see him being strong and in contention. Let me just look back at these last few years.
I remember him
He
and
finished.
Larson got into each other at Richmond a couple years
Yeah.
ago.
So 2024, he finished fourth and did lead a lap, but then
Yep.
2025, he led 123 laps, started seventh. So he was super strong last year. I could have sworn he was going to probably run away with it. I don't know what happened to him. Like you said, him and Larson might have got into it or something, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sitting there looking at that plus 1400. I might have to hammer that here in a second.
Yeah. $5 wouldn't hurt.
$5. That's right.
$5. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I apologize that I wasn't quite as prepared for these shows. It's been a crazy week. So not as many fun trivia and statistics this week, but nevertheless, we got the table set. Again, Trot's Friday night, 7:30, and then followed by the Cup Series. And let me grab that time real quick for you guys. 7:00 start time on Saturday night for the Cup guys. So should be fun. Ross and I will probably be back on Sunday to recap everything because it'll be late Saturday night, but we will be up and watching and ready to discuss what happened. So hopefully it's a good race. Hopefully we got some fun storylines to talk about. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you on Sunday for the race recap.